Gotta aim for the top like, hello, yeah. I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those dark nights I got then, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. But known for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. If they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You try to aim for the top like this and you're in your element with a fire like this. And they hoping you fall and they praying you miss. But it's all in the risk, I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone, give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas, 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Printing Money Podcast. As you can see, I am joined by our buddy Big Al Poker again. He's back here in Las Vegas. That's Vegas behind him. You just can't tell. There's a big giant white glare. I, as always, am your host, Travis Cochran. We had a phenomenal freaking week last week, Al. It was awesome. Did you catch the podcast? I know you weren't here, but did you catch it?
I did catch it. Yeah, it was really good. Really cool seeing that guy here with the guy. I
Dude.
thought I got replaced. I was just kind of sad.
That was 2 weeks ago. You got replaced too. Last week was just me.
Oh, you know what? Then I didn't watch last week's podcast.
You didn't, okay, so you didn't watch last week. All right. But we had a phenomenal week. So last week, it's the first time we had dipped under 60% for the whole season. We are back above 60% now. We went crazy. We went 3 for 4 on the lock it in. Survivor pick was successful. We went 5 for 2 in college. We had a day is what we did. And we're going to do it again because that's what we do. We print all the way around here all season long. So
Right.
Let's talk about the bad things that happened. Let's talk about the Houston Texans. Let's try to figure out how the Houston Texans lost to the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young 13-12. The fact of the matter is DeMeco Ryans a better coach. The Texans have a better defense. They only gave up 13 points. And CJ Stroud, I don't care who won that game, is by far the better quarterback. To me, everything lines up to them winning by a field goal there. They were both on a bye week. I trust DeMeco Ryans much more in that spot. I think if you run that game back 10 times, the Texans win 7 of them, at least. I'm trying to figure out if the Rubik's Cube puzzle has been solved on CJ Stroud. Because he looked absolutely amazing the first month of the season. And then ever since he played the Saints, there's like a blueprint on this kid.
Yeah.
And the offensive coordinator's not doing him any favors, right? They keep running these really stupid play calls to start series. I don't get it. We're going to talk about it in a little bit with Tampa Bay and Houston. And Houston's on my locking it again, the bounce back spot for CJ because he's just much better than Baker Mayfield. It's the same concept. But what is with the offensive coordinators? Mike McCarthy was doing it earlier in the year. I watched Brandon Staley and Todd Bowles. No matter who the hell his offensive coordinator does it all the time, right? And now I'm watching the Texans do it. Can we stop with the lineup in ISO, hand the ball, power I, halfback dive, first and second down that puts us in 3rd and 8 every single freaking possession? Have we not realized that that's not how you play offense in the National Football League? I don't see the Bengals doing that. I don't see the Bills do it. I don't see the Niners do it. I don't see the Dolphins do it. All these teams that have amazing offenses, no one does that because it's not 1993 and my running back's not Emmitt Smith. What am I missing?
You're not missing anything. You're completely right. It's just, I don't know, some of these coordinators just – I feel like some of these coaches, because they're new and they have young quarterbacks or young players around them, they try to play it safe, and they don't want to put their young quarterbacks in a bad spot, bad situation. So they think, okay, let's run the ball here, run around it here, and just hope that we can get some yards, some ground.
It's like the prevent defense. The only thing it actually prevents is you covering the fucking spread.
Or winning the game.
That's it. So, like, all the times you got these teams out here, it's like, oh, the game's 20-3, right? And now we're going to play prevent for the last 9 minutes and 37 seconds. It's like, why don't you just play defense? It worked fine for the first 51 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't
The Lions tried to prevent themselves out of covering the spread. If Jimmy can find Devontae Adams wide open by 40 yards, I'm on an 85-inch flat screen. The only player I could see is Devontae Adams. But the ball's out of bounds because Jimmy G sucks. It's crazy to me that I think the problem in the Carolina game wasn't the pick, wasn't the logic, wasn't the reasoning, wasn't the line, wasn't anything. Bryce Young was put in more positions to succeed than CJ Stroud. They
Yeah.
showed up with a game plan that they came up with to simplify the offense, to put him in third and short in manageable situations. And on the other side of the ball, it's like, well, we trust in CJ. Hopefully you can get it done, kid, because you've got really no support whatsoever. And D'Amico Ryan's the defensive coach.
True.
And they need someone that can run the offense there, because if they're going to come out and do that this week, then this is going to be another bad pick. I'll tell you right now, the Bucs defense is better. If they're going to run the ball on first and second down like a bunch of idiots every single play and line CJ up to get a giant pass rush in obvious passing situations, well, then the Buccaneers are going to win the game. But the good news for the Texans is the Bucs do the same exact thing to Baker Mayfield. They do the same exact thing.
That's true.
I don't understand it. I like the under in that game, by the way, for that reason. People can't seem to figure out that this is 2023. But anyways, that was the ugly. The positives we already talked about. We had a good week. We are going to have another good week this week. We're kicking it off. Titans, Steelers, Thursday night football, over under 36 in a primetime game. That's a low frickin' total. And we've got Will Levis. I don't care that it's Levis. I like Levis. He's going against Kenny Pickett, who's been cleared, which I don't know if there's that much of a difference between him and Trubisky anyways. But, we're there. And we've got a spread right now. Steelers -2.5 at home. Tomlin versus Vrabel. Battle of the coaches. Battle of the defense. Battle of the unknown and or just bad quarterbacks. How do you feel about it, Big Al? Usher us in to another week of printing money.
Obviously, Will Levis looked out pretty damn good against the Atlanta defense. Yeah, I was at home, and 4 touchdowns is huge. And I don't want to – I know now he's going on the road to a tough Pittsburgh defense, and it plays very, very good ball at home. And Mike Tomlin, knows how to coach his team when they're at home against a rookie quarterback. So I think the play in this game, as much as I love Pittsburgh -2.5, I think the play in this game is going to be under 36.5. I don't see a lot of scoring in this game. I see a lot of field goals in this game.
If you can get 36.5, look, the fact of the matter is, I'm going to say it every single week, probably until I die. Prime time unders. They were 3 for 3 last week. We hit them all, folks. I told you in the podcast, take them all as an under. They all hit. The week before, 2 for 3. 68%. That's what we're at right now. Going up. Yeah. Elevator going up. I don't care if you told me the over-under was 30 in this effing game. It's a primetime game. Under. Stop thinking. You don't need to do any research. You have to put in all this hard work that I do all week. No. You just wake up Sunday morning. You let the teams play. They're playing in primetime. The line comes out. And you press under -110. You bet it. Don't even look at the fucking number. Who cares? It's irrelevant. I don't even care. I took the under in the Bills and the Bengals, under 48. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, don't care. Primetime game. Took the under last week in the Chicago Bears and the Chargers, who played no defense whatsoever. Don't care. Primetime game. And it hit, by the way. Like you just take the don't think. Don't overestimate it. If it goes 0-3 this week, fine. Bet it next week. Primetime unders. They're tired. Correct. They're traveling. There's short turnarounds. There's not a lot of time to make adjustments or improvements. There's not a lot of time for players to get healthy. Very little practice. They're not seeing their families. They're frustrated. They want to get in there. They want to get out of there. The rest feel the same. There's a lot of flags. It's dirty. It's ugly. It's not good football, but it makes money.
I agree with your logic. I agree with your logic to a certain extent. I don't think on 2 high-powered offenses would I ever go an under bet. I feel it's not worth the risk. If that's the case, if you really strongly feel it's because you want to under because of the record of primetime, then
I mean, I took Philly, Miami under. 2 of the best offenses of the league. It went under.
Correct, but that was like a line of 54.5. And Philly has a pretty good defense. So, I mean, it's not bad. And Tua does show that he struggles against really good defenses.
Sure.
So, and that's going to get it.
That's my point, though. I mean, look at this week at the under 48 we're going to get to. The Bengals have a very strong defense. Josh Allen struggled the last 5 games.
Yeah. But I think these 2 teams have more stronger offense together combined because the Bills are banged up on defense as well. So keep that in mind. They're banged up on defense. And
you want this to be your podcast challenge of the week? Because I will lock in the under on the Bills and the Bengals right now. You want to challenge it?
Challenge it. Challenge accepted.
48. Challenge accepted. You want the over?
Over 48.
Dude's betting against the best frickin' bet in football, hit me up, guys. PR Money Pod on Twitter, Printing Money Podcast, Instagram, and TikTok. Send me a DM if you want to be a co-host. I need somebody else. This Big Al Poker guy is going to jump out that window behind him in a second and get that glare off his forehead. Oh.
Hey, this is a nice view. So you guys can't see it, but that's actually a beautiful Eiffel Tower back there. I'm in Paris. I'm not in Vegas. I'm in Paris.
Oh, you're in Paris. Yeah. Okay. So are you going to the game in Germany since you're currently in France?
I'm currently not going to Germany. I'm going to head back to the United States.
Oh, okay. Great. Catch another Colts loss, huh?
Yep.
Perfect. So, anyways, back to the point of what we're trying to do around here. Make money in picks. We like the under. For sure. As a secondary bet, I think I like the Steelers minus 2.5. I don't like it at 3. I'm a fan of it at 2.5. Maybe half a unit, something like that. Look, Will Levis is going to struggle here in this game. Vrabel's much better at home than he is on the road. It's a bounce back spot for Tomlin. I don't think much else really matters here. DeAndre Hopkins ain't going to do in the Steelers what he did to the Falcons last week. There's no way. So,
Yeah. And then not against that
You know,
defense.
I like the kid. I think Will Levis has talent. I think he's going to be okay. I think he had a tremendous debut. I think he's in for a whole nother world with TJ Watt around the corner.
Agreed.
All right, guys. Let's move on to Kansas City Chiefs, the home team at a neutral site game in Germany, hosting the Miami Dolphins. Miami's been in Germany since Tuesday night. Kansas City should be arriving today. I have not heard if Mahomes is over the flu or if he gave it to any of his other teammates. No updates on that. But unless the Chiefs are just all sick and Kelsey's got the flu and Mahomes got the flu and Chris Jones got the flu, I can't tell you how much I like the Kansas City Chiefs in a bounce-back game after that abysmal performance they had against Denver last week. A pissed-off Mahomes trying to make a statement at 6 a.m. Sunday morning. How do you feel about it now?
I like the Chiefs a lot. I know it's a line drop to actually 1.5. I saw today. I know it's 2.5. It opened up at now. It looks like money's coming on Miami from what I see.
There's a lot of public love right now for the Dolphins. There's also a lot of pro love for the Dolphins, and it could be that people just don't think Mahomes is going to be ready for this game. Maybe he's not quite over his illness. Maybe somebody else is sick and we haven't heard. There's opportunity in the fact that they've been there all week in terms of Miami. They got there on Tuesday. The team that gets there earlier clearly has an advantage. Everything is lining up for this being an easier trip for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I just don't care. The fact of the matter, Al, is everything that these guys are looking at in terms of why the Dolphins can or should win this football game is irrelevant to me. Patrick Mahomes is 15-2 in the month of November career. Patrick Mahomes is 18-6-1 against the spread if he's a 3-point favorite or lower, meaning underdog, any of those. 18-6-1. He's the 8th most profitable quarterback in the last 20 years in that spot. In a toss-up game, he's the 8th most profitable quarterback of all time. He's lost back-to-back games a handful of times in his career. He just took his first road loss in the division, and he's furious. I'm not betting on anything here other than Mahomes. I am betting Patrick Mahomes. I will bet Patrick Mahomes in these spots until the effing podcast is broke or he proves to me that he can't do it. Because he's won a lot more of these games in a lot more of these spots than Tua has. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So I'm all over the Chiefs here. I love the Chiefs. There's definitely some sharp money pouring on the Dolphins. Could be the flu thing. I'm not really sure. I just don't really care. I don't think there's any way he's still affected by that this week. Now, of course, if we start hearing they traveled bad or, Kelsey's got the flu now or the locker room's not feeling well, then yeah, I'm just going to go buy myself out of my position, right? It is what it is. But right now, the Kansas City Chiefs to me is an absolute lock it in. You have to lock in Mahomes under a 3-point favorite every single time, no matter what.
Well, the only thing I'm curious about, when the line goes from 2.5 to 1, let's say Mahomes, the line moves so I could pick them, right? And because certain Chiefs players are out, how would you go back on what you would take the Dolphins to pick them, and then what if Chiefs win by 1 or 2, then you lose both bets?
Yeah, I mean, you either take the Dolphins on the money line, or you take a live bet, or you take a teaser position. There's a ton of ways to buy yourself out, really. You know?
Teasers are the hardest way to do it, though. Teasers are.
No, I would agree. That's why I said it last. But the fact is, there are definitely ways to buy yourself out. You know. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But I don't intend on buying my way out. I'd have to hear some real news. Someone would have to basically tell me that Mahomes has been throwing up in the locker room all week. You know, Kelsey didn't travel, something like that, for me to want to get out of this position. Otherwise, I'm very confident. Very, very confident in the Kansas City Chiefs here. I really am. Moving on. Let's move it on over. The only thing that sucks about this game is I actually have to be up at 6 a.m. for once because I'm not missing this one. I wish they put Minnesota and Atlanta in the Germany time slot, and I would have just not bet the game, slept right through. We've got the Minnesota Vikings and Jaren Hall versus Taylor Heineke in a battle of emotional nothingness. It's what we have. We have Taylor Heineke taking over for Desmond Ridder. Thank God they finally made that decision. I know he's injured. We should have went there anyways. You got Jaren Hall out of BYU. He's a 5th-round draft pick. He played 2 seasons. He put up some decent stats. I mean, he's got 6,100 yards, 52 touchdowns, 11 picks. It's not like he was a chump, right? But he was a 5th-round draft pick. Who knows what he's really learned behind Kirk Cousins in 8 weeks. He's got no Justin Jefferson. This game is a snoozer, man. No one cares. I don't want to watch this game. I don't want to pay attention to this game. I don't put money on this game. I don't want to do anything with it. You got a line that opened Atlanta -4.5. It's up to Atlanta -5. I don't care who the quarterback is. When should the Falcons ever be a 5-point favorite against anyone?
Never. Especially with a backup quarterback, Heineke. Unless they feel Heineke. Well, I don't know. I guess I feel Heineke is better than Ridder. Ridder is absolute dog shit.
I actually don't. Yeah, I actually like Taylor Heineke. That's not the problem. The problem is
he didn't do that bad for Washington.
The Atlanta Falcons should never be favored by more than the field goal against anyone.
Yeah, but it's Jaren Hall, so we don't know what he has. He only came in very short term for Cousins last week, so it's not really much to evaluate him. His BYU stats aren't really eye popping. This podcast is about sports betting, right? So as sports betting advice, don't bet this game. Don't even look at this game. Don't even think about who to bet this game.
All right, we're gonna head east though, northeast.
Can I guess where?
Area of the country you're very familiar with. Of course, you can guess where.
Baltimore, right?
Of course, we're going to Baltimore.
Nice.
Yeah, same place Seattle's going. From the West Coast to the East Coast for a morning game. You know how I feel about that. Seahawks, Ravens, line opened 5.5. It's still there, but it's kind of sitting at like 6.5. Couple different books got it at 5.5. Couple books got it at 6. So it's kind of all over the place. That's a big number. That's a shock line for Mr. Harbaugh. Is Lamar playing that good to you?
It's just the whole West Coast going to the East Coast, playing at on a time slot where it's normally 10 a.m. On the West Coast. So I don't like West Coast teams going to the East Coast and playing a morning game for on their side of things. So I think Baltimore's defense is really, really good. And especially when they're at home, I don't see how Seattle can be in this game very much. So I think Geno Smith gets sacked at least 4 or 5 times this game. So I would say the bet in this game is take the Baltimore 5. If you get a 5.5, go for it because I think 5.5 is a good number. Get it now. I don't think, like I said, one book has a 6 already on my end, and one is a 5.5. So I'm taking the 5.5. That's actually one of my top picks for this week is Baltimore minus 5.5. So if you can get that, get it in now. Don't wait. Let it go up any more. And take the over on the sacks in the game. The over prop bet on the sacks is 4.5. I mean, both teams. I think the Ravens get 5 sacks alone against Geno Smith.
Well, they're going to have to because Seattle's not sacking Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar might get a sack here on accidental here and there, maybe get one.
Seattle's defense is pretty atrocious. The fact of the matter is the Seattle Seahawks should have lost at home last week to P.J. Walker. P.J. Walker gave them back a game they had no business winning. Mm-hmm. And that was at home. The Ravens are much better than Cleveland. I'm not taking 5.5 here. I'm not saying I don't agree with Al. To me, this is one of my very few teaser bets of the week. I'm going to the Ravens at a pick 'em because I think it's a letdown spot a little bit, and I think the Ravens are kind of been on a roll. Rough travel schedule, etc. I fully expect them to win. I don't know if they cover. It might be a game they win by a field goal. Something crazy could happen with a backdoor cover. That's always possible with DK Metcalf. Gino's got a big arm, etc. You know, I don't trust the spread. I'm going to take it on a teaser leg, but I certainly don't think the Seattle Seahawks will win this football game. I don't like Seattle in this spot at all, and I think it's a very real possibility they get blown out.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. It's not one of my favorite bets of the week. I didn't tell you to lock it in, but Al's on the Ravens -5.5. I'm on the Ravens on a teaser leg, and I think that's the right side of the game. Speaking of that team that has P.J. Walker, the Cleveland Browns are going to play host to Clayton Tune, who's finally going to get to play football for the Arizona Cardinals this week, I think. At least that's what the book's telling you right now, because there's no way the Browns are favored -8 against Kyler Murray. So the fact that they're hanging Nate right now, Al, tells me they don't expect that Kyler's going to be playing football this weekend. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they did come out and say they didn't decide who the quarterback's going to be. I personally believe Kyler's been practicing the last 3 weeks. He practiced in full all last week and didn't play. He practiced in full the last 2 days of the practice week prior week, and he's practicing in full all week this week. Gannon, I believe, is kind of being a little smart here by not announcing as Murray being the quarterback and going with Tune to throw off the Browns' preparation. I think it's pretty smart on his as a coaching standpoint because you're on the road and you don't want to give any more edge to the Browns than it is, being that they're at home and you're going on the road from West Coast to East Coast. So I think this line is moving on the Browns because everyone's expect Clayton Tune to start, and playing in the dog pound is not a good place to play if you're a rookie quarterback. But I really believe Kyler Murray does make his debut this week, week 9. I don't see how Arizona is going to let him wait any longer, being he's practiced so much. So I really believe that Kyler Murray will start. And if you can, I think taking Arizona right now +8 would be a really good play because as soon as Kyler Murray is announced as quarterback, that line's going to drop to like 5 easily.
So here's the deal. Clayton Tune is not going to get it done against the Cleveland Browns. I'll tell you right now, if he actually gets named the starter of this game, I wouldn't be shocked if this line closed at 8.5 or 9. And quite frankly, I'm telling you right now, if Clayton Tune is the starter of this game, lay it. Myles Garrett's going to have a freaking field day. There's no Zach Ertz. There's no James Conner. It's in Cleveland. It's still a West Coast team going east for a bad time slot. The defense is going to murder them. Murder them if he plays this football game. But I, like you, don't believe they actually moved Josh Dobbs here unless they knew Kyler was going to play.
Correct. That's why I think they moved Josh Dobbs because they knew they're going to be activating Kyler.
I would assume he's going to be activated. I believe this line will probably drop to 6. You're probably right in where it should drop to, more the 4.5, 5 range. But I can't see the books dropping it that much because they've already taken in way too much money here on Cleveland. I can't imagine they move the line that far. It's gonna give them a middling position that they can't be in. Here's what I like here. If you, like Al, really think that Arizona's going to play Kyler, there's an 8.5 you can go get right now. I can see it. There's a 7.5, an 8, and an 8.5. Okay? There's a 9.5. There's a 9.5 right now at a very public book right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. There's a 9.5 currently available. Go get Arizona plus 9.5, right? And then I've already teased the Browns on a second leg to the Ravens down to 2 because I don't think it matters. It's Kyler's first game back. I think the Browns beat him at home anyways, honestly. And then if the announcement happens the other way, the Browns are for sure going to cover the teaser leg because Clayton Tune's not beating them on the road in his first start. And then I'm going to go lay the big chalk line anyways. But this way you can't get a host. That's what I've done.
Look for Kyler Murray to be the starting quarterback this week in Cleveland.
So I think it's kind of amazing to me here that this week is a battle of either phenomenal marquee matchups that everybody wants to see, right? You got Chiefs-Dolphins, Eagles-Cowboys, the list goes on and on and on. Or it's a battle of a bunch of quarterbacks nobody's really ever heard of, no one knows anything about, playing each other in some of the worst games I've ever seen.
Also keep in mind, though, this has to be the first year in I don't know how long I can go think about how many quarterbacks have gone down this year. I mean, Kyler Murray out the year on injured reserve. Kirk Cousins out for the year.
Rodgers made it 4 plays.
Rodgers made it 4 plays out for the year. Anthony Richardson out for the year. It's just been like up and down. Desmond Ridder. Everyone had high hopes on Desmond Ridder before the season started. He turned out to be garbage.
Jimmy G is getting bitched for Aiden O'Connell. I mean, things are going crazy, and we're going to segue to a game where things are going crazier because now Matthew Stafford's out. So you got the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Green Bay to play the Packers. Kind of like I said earlier, on what planet should the Atlanta Falcons be a 5-point favorite? On what planet should the Packers be a 3.5-point favorite?
Well, you got to keep in mind that they're out there. I'm showing a 3-point favorite on my books on my end.
So I've got 3s and 3.5s. It's split between the 8 books I'm looking at.
Yeah, both my books have it at 3. I really link the Packers at a -3 is actually a pretty good line to me. I don't see how the Rams. I know Rams have really good defense, and Jordan Love will probably struggle against that defense. I know the over-under shows 38.5. Packers defense isn't the greatest, but they're also going up against a backup quarterback. So you can't expect much from that quarterback to put up a lot of points on the Packers defense. And the Rams defense, we already know, has moments. It could be really, really phenomenal. Has moments could be really bad. But Jordan Love also hasn't shined this year as we all expect. I expect he's going to shine. He started out great the first 3 weeks, and then since then he's just taken a dump on every game he's played in. So I would probably think the best bet in this game would be the under 38.5. The weather showing on Green Bay on kickoff on Sunday, 51 degrees, cloudy skies, wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. So it's a perfect day for football. In Green Bay in November it's perfect weather. So no other issues with the weather. So I think under 3.5 is probably a solid play. This game's probably going to be ending up at I'm going to go 17-9 is what I predict the score would be. I think Packers win 17-9. So I think also Packers cover the spread. So definitely low scoring, but 17-9 is my prediction. I would go Packers in the under.
All right. Al wants the Packers and the under. Do you think I want any part of this game?
Probably not. But like I said, we're here to do a podcast and give people advice on each game.
Yeah, my advice, run. My advice is to run away. What are we talking about? The backup quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams is Brett Rypien. What do you know about Brett Rypien?
His dad had some moments.
That's wonderful. What do you know about Brett Rypien?
His dad?
No.
That's all I know.
You don't know him for the Denver Broncos? You don't
He's
remember him playing in Denver?
That's right. He was terrible.
No, terrible. Really, because in 2020, he played 3 games. He had a 67% percentage of completions, 4 picks and 2 touchdowns. Don't worry. He had an encore presentation in 2022 where he had 4 picks and 2 touchdowns in 4 games played. It's Brett Rypien. You can't bet this game. You'd be crazy to bet this game.
I think this game is a much better game to bet than the Minnesota Vikings and Falcons.
I think this game is terrible, and you just love Jordan Love. I will not be putting my money on the Green Bay Packers until Jordan Love can either be a quarterback or gets benched. Jordan Love is terrible. I have made so much money betting against Jordan Love at this point. It's amazing. I'm on that train all by myself. You guys are over here just praying to God that the Cheeseheads show up and actually look like the Packers. No, they won't. I don't know who's as bad as Brett Rypien is. He could play better than Jordan Love on Sunday. I don't like Jordan Love. I like Sean McVay, but I also like Matt LaFleur. Run away. You don't have to bet every game. There's 300 games in sport every week. We don't need to do this. Get out of here. Stop. Just stop.
Packers -3.
You're a degenerate. I'm here to help my players save money. By the way, let me tell you how much the public doesn't believe in Jordan Love. 72% of the bets currently on the Rams and Brett Rypien. 82% of the money.
Public's wrong.
Say what you want, but you would say this every week. You think the public's wrong. The Green Bay Packers suck. You guys all wanted to take Green Bay last week. I'm like, lay Minnesota -1. This is easy. Cash. Stop betting Jordan Love. I had the Broncos against him too. I got everyone against him. Everyone against him. He's terrible.
I actually had the over second half in the Green Bay Broncos game, and I had the under first half. It's pretty amazing.
That is amazing. You know what's amazing to me is how many years Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers and how bad he still is at playing quarterback. That's amazing to me. Speaking of someone who didn't sit behind anyone, someone who needs no introduction, someone who's already better than Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans going to play host to Baker Mayfield and the State Farm commercials. And we're doing that in Houston. Line opened -2.5. Line currently -2.5. Not a lot of movement. Nothing's going on here. I'm all over Houston. Lock it in. How do you feel?
Same way. I like Houston as well. I don't trust Baker Mayfield. He's had so many opportunities to win games, and just he gets sacked way too much. Doesn't know how to roll the pocket. Doesn't know how to, for a guy being a scrambling kind of quarterback or have that ability to scramble, unlike some quarterbacks in the league, he surely does not know how to feel the pressure. I mean, his O-line they just like block into a circle around him, and he just does not know how to get out of that circle or roll out, and just takes a sack every fucking time. I just understand it. So I have no respect for Baker Mayfield. I think he's a god-awful quarterback. He was always bad with the Browns. He actually showed life with the Rams last year when he came in. Showed some kind of life. Like, okay, this guy actually has potential. Started the season pretty well with Tampa this year. Like, okay, he has potential. Then just last few games, just his sack, I don't know. See him get sacked so much in those situations just makes me irritated how bad a quarterback he is. But yeah, for getting -2.5 at Houston hosting, I like C.J. Stroud way better. You're getting a key number of 2.5, so a field goal wins this game, and I think Houston wins this game by a touchdown, I believe. So I would definitely go with C.J. Stroud 2.5. Get that key number.
You know what I like? I like that 74% of the bets currently on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Perfect. I love being on the other side of what the public thinks is going to happen.
Hence why I like the Packers, because I'm going against the public on that one. And again, we're going on the public against this one. I think the public is wrong on Tampa Bay as well. I just don't see how they could make Tampa Bay +3 on the road against.
They're
Houston.
making Tampa Bay +3 because their defense is the best shooting in the game. That's what they're doing. But I just don't care. I think the offense is this bad. I think that Todd Bowles has clearly, set down some sort of management style on the type of offense he wants his coordinator to call, because it doesn't matter if they change the coordinator, right? That was Byron. I thought Byron Leftwich was the idiot. Apparently, this whole halfback freaking dive ISO run the ball through the middle like it's 1993 is Todd Bowles' idea. So
yeah, it's what I hear. Is Todd Bowles I think we had this discussion last night when we were hanging out about coordinators and coaches. Mm-hmm. Todd Bowles is another coach that is an amazing coordinator. And dude, just stay as a coordinator. Like, why stress out being a head coach and going through all this trouble and worry about being fired? If you just stay as a defensive coordinator where you're good at, stay as a defensive coordinator. Like, there's nothing wrong with, you don't have to be a head coach because you're a great coordinator. You're a great coordinator because you're a great coordinator. Stay like that. I mean, you're a great poker player, but you're not going to go and start being a car salesman because you're a great poker player. I mean, it's just like, why change? That's actually not really make any sense there.
Yeah, I don't. You picked a completely different industry. Yeah. You try that again. Let's go with what you were actually trying to accomplish there.
Please delete that.
No. We're gonna leave that in, including the part where you asked me to delete it, laughed afterwards. It's good for the viewers. By the way, if you want to follow this guy, Big Al Poker.
Anyway, like I was saying, Todd Bowles. Stay as a defense coordinator. That's what you're good at. Stop being a head coach, because after the season, when the Bucs fail, like they're expected to fail, you're going to be out of a coach's job. I mean, for crying out loud, you guys started 3-1. You were 3-1. I was talking about, okay, Baker Mayfield's a quarterback now, can lead this team. The Bucs should be good. They're going to win this division. The Saints aren't playing as good as they everyone thought they would be. Carr is struggling, and like the role is completely reversed. So now the Saints are playing good ball. The Buccaneers are sucking. And Todd Bowles is not a good head coach. He's a coordinator, and that's all he should be. So anyway, take Texans 2.5. I'm with you on that one. Lock that in. It's one of my locks as well. Texans -2.5.
It's a huge bounce back spot for him. CJ's got to get right here at some point. I trust D'Amico Ryans to make adjustments far before I trust Todd Bowles to do the same. Moving on to another quarterback that is just as bad as all the quarterbacks we've been talking about. I'm surprised he's not been benched. I'm
Mac
surprised there was no move at the trade deadline. Mac Daddy Jones and the New England Patriots. 3.5-point favorites against the Washington Commanders, who traded away their entire pass rush this week.
I was really, when you go with the trade, I was really shocked that Patriots didn't trade Mac Jones to the Vikings. I thought, that was a good landing spot. Mac Jones is still a young quarterback. They like Bailey Zappi, I think, in the background. And if they struggle with Bailey Zappi, guess what? You have the number 1 pick in the draft next year. There's some pretty good talent quarterbacks coming in the college. So I was really shocked you didn't try to get some value for Mac Jones right now and trade him to a team that needs a quarterback. And Mac Jones, I think, is better than Josh Dobbs. I didn't understand why that was never a consideration by the Vikings to at least, hey, you know what? Let's take on this young quarterback. Kirk Cousins might retire in the end of the year. He's actually, I believe his contract is up after this year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, though.
Tell me, will the New England Patriots should ever be a 3.5-point favorite?
Yeah, I like the Commanders 3.5. I mean, getting that key number 3.5, a half point. This game could very well be a field goal game. So if Patriots win this game, I think they win by a field goal. If not, Commanders win this game outright.
I'll tell you what I like about this game. My ability to turn it off. Don't bet this game. Walk away. Run away. There's other spots. Half the schedule's like that this week. Just leave.
Yep. Agreed.
Kapooey. It's all crap. Speaking of crap, the Chicago Bears. I'm going to pause. Just let that sink in.
I want to see what
they're going to travel to the New Orleans Saints this week. Down in the Bayou, where the Saints are 8.5-point favorites. But they're also 7.5-point favorites or 8-point favorites. And the line's all over the frickin' place. So, how do you feel about Chicago and them traveling to New Orleans, where 75% of the bets of the tickets placed and 66% of the money is on New Orleans? Meaning the Sharps are pouring in on the backup quarterback of the Bears after that performance against the Chargers. I assume this means they think it's a buy high time on the Saints after the Colts game and a buy low time on Chicago, so they're going to take a few points of value. Yeah, I know how it works.
Yeah.
Do you fucking care? Because Chicago sucks.
Chicago does suck. They're really not that good of a team, and their quarterback, he showed some promise against Minnesota. Looked pretty bad last week against the Chargers.
He looked bad against a Brandon Staley-led defense, which no one does.
Yeah, well, he did. But this is a tough game, to choose because the Saints are home. They have a way better defense, so they should on paper blow this team out. But I don't know, man. 8.5 points is a little scary for me. I think Saints win this game, but definitely by a touchdown for sure.
You know what the best part is about a team being favored by 8.5, right?
What's that?
It's a Wong teaser leg, right to 2.5, baby.
2.5 or 14.5 on a 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, don't trust the Bears. Take the Saints minus 2.5 at home to handle their business again and get the W. Tease it.
So you don't like 8.5?
No. It's too many points.
So if you don't like Saints at 8.5, why would you not take Bears at 14.5 then?
Mainly because the Bears have an easier path to an absolute implosional blowout than the Saints do to losing. I could see this kid coming out, Division II quarterback against the Saints defense that's good, and literally just throwing 3 picks and having a fumble. And then they just get blown out. But in the world where he actually plays a good football game and Derek Carr comes back to earth and just makes mistakes and can't find the red zone touchdowns that he struggles with, great between the 20s, pretty bad 20-0, right? And he comes back to that planet, then I see the Saints eking out a victory because even in the best case scenario for the Bears, I don't see a path to victory. But I do see a path to them getting blown out. Just not one that's traveled enough for me to lay 8.5.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough.
So I would take this as a teaser leg here. Over 41, I don't like. I don't like the under. It's the same reason. It's this. The Saints have the ability to not play any offense this week. They could do that. And the Bears might just play bad enough on offense to give a bunch of defensive touchdowns. You just really don't know which way the game's going to go. I like it as a live bet. You just kind of watch the game, see the flow. Are they playing well? What's happening? You'll know by the end of the first quarter which way to go.
So far, your two teaser picks are Ravens and the Saints.
I gave you Ravens, I gave you Saints, and I gave you Cleveland.
On a tease. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We are going to Carolina. Bryce Young, fresh off his first NFL victory. Can we clap for Bryce Young? Come on, man. Give it up for Bryce Young. Oh. Yeah, they're playing those guys over there. I'll just let Al take this. Tell us about the Colts.
First of all, Reggie Wayne, legend, all receiver coach, amazing. That's why I'm supporting his jersey. Feels good to wear it. Colts are favored, which is I'm pretty shocked. I thought it was gonna be a pick 'em. I didn't think it'd be a -3. I think it's a lot of points for a road team going against Carolina, especially with Gardner Minshew as quarterback. I think if AR5 was quarterback, then that makes more sense. But I don't know. I'm definitely not gonna bet this game. It's not a game I want to bet. I'm a fan of the Colts and want to watch it. If I was a betting man, I really don't know who to go here.
Oh, you are a betting man. You're on the Printing Money podcast.
No, I just don't know who I would get on this game. I just don't know who in this game. I'm really kind of torn. I think the best thing to do in this game, the Colts have gone over in every game this season. The Colts games. So the Colts over 8-0 this year, which is pretty amazing. Panthers defense isn't the greatest, so the Colts do have ability to put on points on the board. But the Colts defense also isn't the greatest. So this might be an option for Bryce Young to actually throw a couple touchdowns. So a number 44 is very doable. I think both teams score over 20 points in this game. So I think the best bet in this game is over 44, just because looking at how both defenses are and both offenses are. Like, obviously, Panthers aren't the greatest offense, but they're going against a pretty weak defense, especially when the Colts struggle on the road as a defense. So the best bet by far is take the over 44.
Well, here's the best part. The line opened at 45.5, Al. You can find the over at 43.5 at one book right now.
That's fine. I think everyone's fading going on the under because of last week's game and saying, okay, the Panthers can't score. But they understand they're playing against a tough Texans defense, against a defensive-minded coach, too.
Let's talk about a difference here in pro money, because this is kind of insane. And let me tell you about the disparity right now in sports betting books and pro money, okay? There's a public – they're all very public books that I'm looking at, right? It's a very public book right now. 55% of the bets, 29% of the money on Indianapolis. 45% of the bets, 71% of the money on Carolina. That would tell you that all the pros are backing the Panthers here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next book has 17% of the bets on Carolina, 10% of the money. Does that make any sense to you?
No, it doesn't. And what's funny is as we're talking right now, my line on that game just moved right now. It was Carolina +3 at -125, now into +2.5 and -105. I just moved right this second.
I'm just staying away here. I like the Colts here, if you want me to be honest. I still think the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL. I do. I don't believe in Bryce Young at all. But I don't believe in Gardner Minshew and the way he's playing football right now. And I think the safest bet here is the over. So I'm going to jump on the over, but I'm avoiding this game.
Yeah, the over is by far the best bet.
The Las Vegas Raiders, fresh off of a head coaching change, offensive coordinator change, quarterback change, pretty much every other change you could possibly fucking imagine, are going to play host in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, to a team that needs at least half of those changes. Their head coach can stay. Brian Daboll is good. The New York Football Giants, and what I believe is Daniel Jones is back?
Yep. Danny Dimes.
Versus Aiden O'Connell.
This game's going to be a shootout. Take the over 37.
I don't think this game's going to be a shootout at all. I think the New York Football Giants defense played well against the Jets. I think the week before that it played well against the Bills. I think their defense playing fine. I think Aiden O'Connell is terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah. Do you know who the new Raiders coach is?
Yes.
Antonio Pierce. And who did Pierce play for?
What is that going to do to fix his offense? What does that do to make Aiden O'Connell play football?
Antonio Pierce is a great linebacker coach. Great linebacker. He was a good player too.
I don't know what that does for the Raiders offense.
2-time Super Bowl champion, and I feel that he's going to go all out to make sure his team is ready to get his first win as interim head coach against the team that he played for and won two Super Bowls with, and they're at home. So, yeah, I like the Raiders to win this game -1.5. I know Aiden O'Connell is a quarterback, but Danny Dimes on the road, not a big fan of him, but take the Raiders 1.5.
Let me help you guys. Just like all the other games that you don't have to watch because there's other channels on television on Sundays.
Turn the game off.
Turn it the fuck off. Walk away. That's what I'll be doing. That's what I'm gonna be doing. I can't lay my money on either one of these guys. I can't.
I think you're going to be watching 3 games this weekend, I believe. You're going to be watching the morning Chiefs and Dolphins game.
6 a.m.
And when that game's over, you'll probably go take a nap and get ready to watch the afternoon game, which is the Cowboys-Eagles.
No, because I'll have money on Cleveland and Baltimore, so I'll turn those 2 games on.
Okay.
I'll turn those on.
When 1 o'clock games come around, you're going to Colts, Panthers, Giants, Raiders, and then they have Cowboys-Eagles.
Cowboys-Eagles. Yeah, I'm not even going to turn the channel.
Yeah. So
we're good to go. What are you talking about? I got my Sunday mapped out. There's just no reason for me to sit somewhere where I could see 95 screens this week because they suck.
Yeah.
All right. What a segue you just did, by the way. That was really impressive. You just decided to bring up the Cowboys and the Eagles. That's perfect because I want to head to Philadelphia, right? I want to go take a trip and see the Liberty Bell. I'm ready to ring that thing through the city when the Eagles smash Dak Prescott this week. At least that's what I think is going to happen. That's why I have the Eagles -3. Lock it in against Dallas. That line ain't moving. That line hasn't moved. Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. No?
I agree. I think Eagles win this game. But I think the best play in this game is over 46. This game's going to be a shootout.
Absolutely. It's a shootout every time they play.
Yeah, this game's going to be like 38-34, 38-31, some bullshit like that. It's going to be a high-scoring game. And I'm just shocked it's over 46.
Yeah, this line opened at 46.5, so it's actually come down to. I'm all over 46 here. I love the over. I love the Eagles. Here we are again. It's a big spot on the road. Dak Prescott. Give me the other team.
Yeah. I just don't see how Dak Prescott can beat this Eagles team. I mean, I know he beat them last year. I remember that game, but the Gardner Minshew was a quarterback, so it's different.
Yep.
So Gardner sucks.
Are you ready for Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, please.
I'm ready for Sunday. I was ready for this game last year. Glad you're okay, DeMar. All right? I was ready for this game last year. I couldn't wait for this football game. I'm so happy it's far enough in the schedule that Joe Burrow's healthy. Last year, I was all over the Bengals, and if you remember, they started hot. That was with the Bills having a healthy defense. I'm all over the Bengals in this one, too. In Cincinnati, Josh Allen banged up and questionable now. Lines actually dropped. I could find it at 1.5. Give me the resurging Joey B, the Bengals defense that just shut down the 49ers, the team that's on the hot streak, before you give me this questionable Buffalo team that barely held on to a Hail Mary last week that Chris Godwin probably should have caught. I don't believe in the Buffalo Bills right now. I don't believe in what they're doing. I don't think they believe in what they're doing, but I believe in Joey B. What do you believe in, Big Al?
All about Joey B. Always got a rather hot hand, and they're the home team too, which is amazing. Bengals started 0-3. Now they're 4-3. They've won 4 straight. Joe Burrow is back. He's back to being the Joe Burrow we all expected him to be. His 0-3 start, and everyone's like, "Oh, Joe Burrow sucks. He's not good." You know what? He didn't play all training camp. He didn't play any preseason games. He was injured calf, nursing the calf. He wasn't game day ready. So it took him this 3 weeks that you normally take to do preseason and to do training camp. He got that all in the first 3 games of the year, and we saw how bad he was. But now he is primed and ready to be the quarterback we all expected Joe Burrow to be. I mean, he is phenomenal. So if you get a 1.5, please jump on it. Don't wait longer because this line, I think, closes at 2.5 or 3 before we know it. I think money on the Bengals will come in late towards the end. I just don't see how
Money is already in on the Bengals. These bets are split, honestly. You got 46% of the tickets, 52% of the money on the Bengals right now.
And the weather in Cincinnati on Sunday night, I'm curious. Sunday night, 48 degrees, winds 5 to 10 miles per hour winds. So yeah, 40 degrees, good weather for Cincinnati.
Good weather for Cincinnati, and I'm telling you right now, you like whatever you want. I know what you want here. You bet the under, it's a primetime game. Stop overthinking it.
What'd you have the under? 48, you said?
48. Let me see. Let me double check what it's at right now. That's what it opened at.
49.5.
It's 49.5. They're already betting it up for you. Go and get it. Under. It's a primetime game. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. It's a primetime game, baby. Primetime. Under. Speaking of primetime, under the lights. In the city that never sleeps. Apparently, Monday Night Football apparently belongs to the city of frickin' New York. We can't put anybody else on this damn channel. Primetime games and New York. The NFL loves it. So in the city that never sleeps, where thank God Aaron Rodgers can't be hurt again, the Jets are going to trot out Zach Wilson. And they're going to welcome in Brandon Staley to the grandest stage of them all, where hopefully his fate looks just like Josh McDaniels, and he gets fired next week.
I just wish that NFL would implement a new rule with injuries happening, especially with star quarterbacks. When you make the schedule, I mean, I know the flex starts week 10, but man, they got to realize there has been some good games that should have been flexed out of prime time. Like
tons.
I mean, this Chargers Jets game. This game, I know it's Monday night. It's really hard. You can't flex a Monday night game, but there has to be some kind of changes, when it's in advance, a couple weeks in advance. Like this game is a horrible Monday night game. I mean, they should have moved the Bills-Bengals Monday night, if anything, because I remember last year when the Bills-Bengals
if they moved the Bills-Bengals to Monday night, then they could have put Dallas and Philly on Sunday night.
Correct, absolutely. Moves or lose Dallas-Philly to Monday night and move the Jets-Chargers to fucking.
Would have made more sense actually, because the Bills played last Thursday. They did too much rest. They played a Monday night game the week after, so.
Yeah, so
either way, I don't care. Just get the Chargers and the Jets off my one screen that I can't turn off.
Yeah.
So you've got the Jets and the Chargers in a game where the line is at 40 right now. I bet the under. Of course, I bet the under. It's prime time, baby. Prime time. Not only is it under, you can get it at minus 105.
Wow.
Yep. What do you like? Chargers minus 3 here. I think the Chargers should beat the Jets pretty handily, actually. But I'm not laying it because I don't trust Brandon Staley. I don't bet my money on Brandon Staley. I don't.
So my play in this game is the easiest play you can make on the sports better here. Chargers are first half and first quarter team. Take Chargers first quarter, take Chargers first half, and cash that ticket because Chargers do very, very good in the first quarter and first half. They cannot hold the games in the fourth quarter. So, they could very well lose this game to the Jets come in the fourth quarter, but I think they cover the first quarter, first half, easily going to halftime. So that was I think the two strongest plays is Chargers first quarter, first half.
I like the under. Let's do it for them, Al. Let's give them a quick recap of everything we like coming up this week in the National Football League. So we're going to go back to Thursday night football. Pittsburgh Steelers, those Tennessee Titans, Will Levis, Kenny Pickett. We love the under 36.5. We got a nice lean on Pittsburgh, minus 2.5. Going to be a tough night for the Blue Jean baby. KC looking over at Germany at Miami and saying, I'm Pat Mahomes. I'll be covering 2.5. Don't you worry about me. Lay it with the Chiefs. Minnesota and Atlanta just turned the fucking game off. Seattle and Baltimore. Al likes Baltimore minus 5.5. I like them on a teaser down to a pick 'em. Nobody likes Seattle traveling to Baltimore for an early game. Arizona and Cleveland. Who is it going to be, Kyler Murray or Clayton Tune? Well, it really depends, because if it's Kyler Murray, you got a great freaking number. If it's Clayton Tune, it's just not big enough. I think lay the points with the Browns and then tease them as well. That way you don't get hosed if Kyler starts. I'm leaning towards a Kyler start. Al thinks you bet Arizona now, get the big juicy number before it drops, but I'm not confident in Kyler's first start back in Cleveland for an early time slot game that he can win it either.
Go, Kyler.
Green Bay, minus 3 against the Los Angeles Rams. Green Bay shouldn't be favored against anyone, not even Brett Ripien. Walk away, run away, do it fast. Or follow Mr. Al's ideas over here and take the under and the Packers in a cover. Houston minus 2.5, lock it in. Everybody agrees. C.J. Stroud in a bounce-back moment. You've got the Washington Commanders traveling to New England, where one team should never be a favorite. But they are. New England minus 3.5. Run and run fast. Probably as fast as Mac Jones was going to run before Washington traded all their pass rushers. New Orleans minus 7.5, minus 8, minus 8.5. It's all over a touchdown. And quite frankly, I don't trust Derek Carr in the red zone that much. But I love it as the second leg to that teaser. Go ahead and tease it down. New Orleans in the Big Easy, taking out the Chicago Bears. Carolina playing host to the Indianapolis Colts, where quite frankly, I lean Colts, but it doesn't matter. Bet the over. The Colts are an over football team. The Las Vegas Raiders and their entire new coaching regime, led behind the fearless Aiden O'Connell, gonna play against the New York Giants and the resurging Daniel Jones. Holy shit, not even I can make this sound interesting. The Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Dallas Cowboys, and Dak Prescott is going to do what Dak Prescott does against big teams in big moments. Lay an egg. Bet Philly and the over. Cincinnati in the game we've wanted to see since last year. Minus 2, 2.5, 1.5. It's all under 3. Go get Joey B and do it now. The New York Jets playing host to the Los Angeles Staleys. Holy smokes, bet a primetime under and run. I tell you not to watch it, but it's the only game on. Thank you, National Football League, for making me watch Zach Wilson and Brandon Staley. What a heavyweight matchup you gave us Monday night in New York. I got it. You thought it was Rodgers and Herbert. You've known for 7 weeks. 7 weeks. Al, did I miss anything?
Yeah, Chargers first quarter, first half.
Chargers first quarter, first half, as you should do probably every week. Just bet the Bolts early before Staley goes into halftime and somehow talks them out of playing real football. Have I mentioned I hate Brandon Staley?
Yeah, so do I.
All right.
So like good buddy Sean. He hates him with a passion.
Do me a favor, guys. If you like the content, you like the picks, can you hit the subscribe button? It really helps out the channel. Okay? Hit the like. Leave me and Big Al Poker a comment. We would love to talk football with you. If there's anything you want to go over ever. I've got a survivor pick this week of the Saints. Like I told you, I love the tease. I don't really see a way that this kid can go into the Big Easy and get a W. It's a good time to use the Saints. I trust them to get the win. Your lock-it-ins are Chiefs minus 2.5, Bengals minus 2, Eagles minus 3, and the Texans minus 2.5. Pretty much in that order, as long as Mahomes stays invincible at a minus 3 spread or lower. You could find my co-host at Big Al Poker on Instagram. You could find your host, me, Travis Cochran, PR Money Pod on Twitter, Printing Money Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. My college plays will be out on those social media platforms on Friday. Make sure you come and get them. We went 5-2 last week against the spread. It was big time printing. We've got the Inked with Purpose blog. It'll be out coming out Friday for the UFC fight card on Saturday. We have not lost money on a UFC card all season. If you're not subscribed to the blog, get subscribed to the blog. I'll post a link to the website on Twitter. The blog will be there. It's free. It doesn't cost any money. Just come and get our newest issue and make money with us. Guys, I have a great time doing this. I hope you have a great time listening. See you next week at the Printing Money Podcast, where sports betting isn't just a game. It's an
aim for the top like, hello, yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles. That I'm in my element, it's evident that there's levels to the game.